One wrong move in wholesaling can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Here's 5 mistakes to avoid. Before I get into the 5 mistakes, wholesaling real estate is when you make an offer to a seller, and before you actually buy the property, you are assigning or selling that contract to another investor. No money, no credit is required. Let's dive right into it. Mistake number 1. No marketing. It might sound obvious you have to do marketing in order to get sellers, but when I first started, I was just driving around the city looking for distressed homes, and my first deal came for sale by owner, and the second deal came from a referral. But these are not repeatable, scalable actions. So you have to do something repeatable and scalable, such as direct mail, getting on Google, social media ads, etc. You got to keep the leads flowing. Mistake number 2. Removing conditions too early. I know this firsthand. So you never want to remove conditions before you have a signed assignment agreement and the deposit in hand. So one time I had a verbal agreement with a buyer, so I went ahead and I removed conditions. And guess what? The very next day, the buyer changed their mind and they were out. And I was stuck holding onto the property. So I either would have to buy it myself, or if I don't, I have the risk of getting sued. So I had to settle with the seller, and I paid them out $8,000 in order to release me from the contract. So don't remove conditions before you have the signed assignment agreement and the deposit. Mistake number 3. Overpaying for a property. This is the most common mistake. You offer the seller too much and no buyer wants to buy the deal from you. Now, it's not the end of the world. As long as you have the proper contract, you can legally back out of that agreement. Or you can always go back to the seller and ask them for a price reduction, which they may or may not accept. Mistake number 4. Bad contracts or missing clauses. Now, you need to make sure you have tight paperwork. There's a certain way to wholesale, to do it the right way, the legal way, and the ethical way. So you need to make sure you have an assignment clause, you have a condition in there, whether it's a financing condition, inspection, partner's approval, due diligence, or whatever, that allows you to exit and back out of that deal legally, and that way you can get your deposit back. Mistake number 5. Having no buyers list or relying on only one buyer. You see, when I first started out, I had one buyer that was my go-to. But guess what? He is not interested in every single deal I have. For example, if he's a flipper, he's not gonna be interested in a rental property or a student rental. Every buyer has their own niche. So keep that in mind. You don't wanna rely on one person because then you're at their mercy. You wanna have multiple buyers on your list. That way you can have multiple offers and you take the best one. Bonus, I'm gonna give you guys a 6th tip. Mistake number 6 is not setting proper expectations with the seller. So sometimes the seller doesn't realize that it's a conditional offer, or they forget and they go ahead and sign a new lease, or they go and make an offer on a new property, and then guess what? You might not have a buyer and you have to back out, and then that seller's gonna be very upset with you. So it's very important to set proper expectations with the seller and just emphasize that it is a conditional offer and it's not a firm sale. So if you guys are getting started in wholesaling real estate, make sure you guys don't make these mistakes. If you guys like this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button below and follow along for more content.